हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा प्रणाम।
कृष्णा
Program to all of you.
हरे कृष्णा दंड प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna Pranam. So we finished 19 chapters in the previous class.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
मैं बंद करता हूँ।
So today we'll discuss chapter number 20.
Yes, yes, प्रभु जी।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतस्य सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिर्न्यस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितां येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथां मह्यं ददाति स्वपदातिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं पर्यन्तसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धुः जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्तो राधा कान्तो नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी विश्वमानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। Yes, so let us have a bird's eye view of the chapter.
हाँ मेरे को दो हैं, दो थे आगे आगे आगे। हाँ उठा लिया ऑलरेडी। हाँ
Chapter 20. The title of the chapter is Conversation between Maitreya and Vidura. So in the first 8 slokas, Shanak Rishi is asking some questions. Then in 9 to 11, Vidura asked about Brahma's creation. So Shaunak is asking questions to Sudu Goswami, right?
क्या बोल रहे हो?
So in that, Sudu Goswami is replying, in which he's representing or he's asking, he's telling him the same questions that Vidura asked. Vidura asked about Brahma's creation. Then from 12 to 15, Maitreya summarized primary creation, Sarga, which was already discussed earlier. So he's summarizing it. Sarga in 4 verses from 12 to 15. Then in 16 to 53, Brahma's creation, that is Visarga or secondary creation. So we will have again a kind of review or the revision of the Sarga and Visarga. So it's a big chapter. Note the secondary creation previously described in detail, 312, that is 12th chapter, is again described partially in this chapter in order to relate the lineage of Swayambhuva Manu. So somebody may ask, why? Well, what's the reason? Again, Visarga is being described so because now Vidura is asking certain questions to Maitreya, in answer to which there is a need to partially describe the Visarga, right? Up to the in order to relate the lineage of Swayambhuva Manu. That's why it becomes relevant. Okay, let's begin then. Shaunaka Uvacha Mahim Pratishta Madhyasya Saute Swayambhuva Manu Kanyanvatistha Dvarani Margaya Varjan Manam. Sri Shaunaka inquired, O Sut Goswami, after the earth was again situated in its orbit, what did Swayambhuva Manu do to show the path of liberation to persons who were to take birth later on? See here, the word used in Sanskrit is Mahim Pratistham. So here, because this is one of the early cantos, Prabhupada is translating in terms of like modern terminology, situated in its orbit. Okay. But Sanskrit word is Mahim Pratistham, situated in its original place. So don't get confused. This doesn't mean that we agree with the modern astronomy. Just because Prabhupada has used that word here in the translation, that cannot be a platform for someone to claim that, see, Prabhupada here is agreeing with the modern astronomy. No, it's not like that. It's just because English language is such, and since Prabhupada has not reached the fifth canto yet, so in order to avoid undue confusion, he's just using the rudhi. That means what was there in the practice in the Western world at that time, right? So don't get confused. Purport. The appearance of the Lord as the firstborn incarnation occurred during the time of Swayambhuva Manu. That is the first Manu, right? Whereas the present age is in the period of Vaivasvata Manu. Each Manu's period lasts 72 times the cycle of 4 ages. That is Manu's age or Manu's duration of life. 72 times cycle of 4 ages. And one cycle ages equals 4,320,000 solar years. Thus, 4,320,000 years multiplied by 72 solar years is the reign of one Manu. That comes out to be, you can calculate anyway. So that is the reign of one Manu. Okay, so that's the total duration or total lifetime of one Manu. In each Manu's period, there are many changes in many ways. And there are 14 Manus within one day of Brahma. So if you calculate, it will come out to be around 1,000 Divya Yugas or 1,000 Chatur Yugas. Actually, it comes out to be 995 or 94. And then the remaining should be considered as Yuga Sandhya, right? There are 14 Manus within one day of Brahma. It is understood here that Manu creates scriptural regulations for the salvation of the conditioned souls. Manu Samhita. It is also called Manu Smriti. Manu Smriti and Manu Samhita, they are two, one in the same scripture. For the salvation of the conditioned souls who come to the material world for material enjoyment. The Lord is so kind that any soul who wants to enjoy in this material world is given full facility for enjoyment, and at the same time is shown the path of salvation. Shaunaka Rishi therefore inquired from Suta Goswami, what did Swayambhuva Manu do after a reinstatement of the earth in its orbital situation? Kshatta Mahabhagavata, Kshatta Mahabhagavata, Krishna से कांतिसु Kshatta Mahab एक मिनट इसका कृष्ण से कांतिकस Kshatta Mahabhagavata, Krishna से कांतिकस सुहृत् यस्त्य यस्तत्याजाग्रजम कृष्णे sapatya madhavaniti. Shaunaka Rishi inquired about Vidura, who was a great devotee and a friend of Lord Krishna, and who gave up the company of his elder brother because the latter, along with his sons, played tricks against the desires of the Lord. So Shaunak is asking questions to Sutu Goswami. He's asking about Vidura. दो तीन दिन मैंने क्या छाछ पी ली, थोड़ा जुकाम जैसा हो. शरीर अविद्या जाल, seriously, it is really giving a lot of trouble. Perfect. The incident referred to here is that Vidura left the protection of his elder brother Dhritarashtra, went traveling everywhere to sacred places and met Maitra at Haridwar. So Vidur left the place of his brother because Duryodhan insulted him, right? And according to Niti, according to the principles of morality and according to Dharma, one should not remain at a place where one is not respected, right? So Duryodhan was always disrespectful, but on this one in particular incident, he was particularly disrespectful and insulted Vidura. So Vidura left the protection of his elder brother Dhritarashtra and went to travel to the holy places. And he met Maitra at Haridwar. Shaunaka Rishi here inquires about the topics of the conversation between Maitra and Vidura. Vidura's qualification was that he was not only a friend of the Lord, but also a great devotee. When Krishna tried to stop the war and mitigate the misunderstanding between the cousin brothers, they refused to accept his counsel. Therefore, Kshatta or Vidura was unsatisfied with them and he left the palace. As a devotee, Vidura showed by example that anywhere that Krishna is not honored is a place unfit for human habitation. So, according to principles of morality, one should not remain at a place where one is disrespected. Or according to principles of bhakti, one should not remain at a place where Krishna is disrespected. So, for these both reasons, Vidura left, right? Because Krishna was also not honored in the Trustus palace. A devotee may be tolerant regarding his own interest, but he should not be tolerant when there is misbehavior toward the Lord or the Lord's devotee. Here, the word Agavan is very significant, for it indicates that the Kauravas, the Trustus sons, lost the war because of being sinful in disobeying the instructions of Krishna. So, you know the whole story of Mahabharata, right? I don't need to repeat to you. So,
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
yeah. द्वैपायनादनवरो महित्वे तस्य देहजः सर्वात्मना स्थितः कृष्णं तत्परांश्चाप्यनुव्रतः. Vidura was born from the body of Vedvyas and was not less than he. Thus he accepted the lotus feet of Krishna wholeheartedly and was attached to his devotees. Purport. The history of Vidura is that he was born of a Shudra mother, but his seminal father was Vyasadeva. Thus he was not less than Vyasadeva in any respect. Because you know that Vidura was actually Yamraj in the previous birth, right? Also, his seminal father was Vyasdev. So, like we say in English, like father, like son, right? So, that's not always true, but in case of Vidura, was especially like that. Thus, he was not less than Vyasdeva in any respect. Since he was born of a great father, he was supposed to be an incarnation of Narayan. I'm sorry. Since he was born of a great father who was supposed to be an incarnation of Narayan and who composed all the Vedic literatures, Vidura was also a great personality. He accepted Krishna as his worshipable Lord and followed his instructions wholeheartedly. Vidura was purified of all passion by wandering in sacred places. And at last he reached Haridwar, where he met the great sage who knew the science of spiritual life. And he inquired from him. Shaunaka Rishi therefore asked, what more did Vidura inquire from Maitreya? So Vidura was wandering in different sacred places, and at the end of his Tirth he reached Haridwar, where he met the great sage Maitreya, who was expert in the science of spiritual life. So Shaunaka Rishi is inquiring what, because earlier the conversation was narrated by Sud Goswami. What conversation took place between them? So now Shaunaka Rishi is curious to know more. So he's asking, what more did Vidura inquire from Maitreya? Purport. Here the words Vrija's Tirtha Sevaya refer to Vidura, who was completely cleansed of all contamination by traveling to places of pilgrimage. In India, there are hundreds of sacred places of pilgrimage, of which Prayag, Hardwar, Vrindavan, and Rameshwaram are considered principal. After leaving his home, which was full of politics and diplomacy, Vidura wanted to purify himself by traveling to all the sacred places, which are so situated that anyone who goes there automatically becomes purified. So, ordinary people like us, when we go to holy places, simply by visiting those places, we become purified. This is especially true in Vrindavan. Any person may go there, and even if he's sinful, he will at once contact an atmosphere of spiritual life and will automatically chant the names of Krishna and Radha. that we have actually seen and experienced, like in Vrindavan and Govardhan and all of Raja basically. People always chant Radhe Radhe, right? Because Radharani is the Vrajeshwari. Automatically, people chant the names of Radha and Krishna. Thakurji. Here, Krishna is addressed as Thakurji, and Radharani is addressed as Thakurani. Ladli ji. In Barsana, she is called Ladli ji. So, very sweet culture here, actually, in Vrindavan. Rajasis they have natural devotional sentiments for Radha and Krishna. I'm reading this Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhi by Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati. Prabodhananda Saraswati was a very prominent Gaura Bhakta. And he's written some wonderful books actually. One of them is Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhi. So Prabodhananda Saraswati is Tungvidya Sakhi in Krishna Leela. So in 272 verses, there are 272 verses in Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhi. So first verse and last verse describes about Mahaprabhu, and 270 verses in the middle is expressing his loving sentiments for Radharani especially, because he's Tungvidya Sakhi in the spiritual world. So sometimes as a sadhaka, in the sadhaka deha, when he is in the mood of sadhaka deha, or when he is in the mood of a sadhaka, he's praying for the mercy of Radharani. And when he's having spurti or the revelations in the Siddha Deha in Goloka, he in the mood of Tungavidya Sakhi is narrating those sweet pastimes between Radha and Krishna. And throughout the text, Prabodhananda Saraswati, though in the Sadhak Deha, he was a male, throughout the entire text of Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi, he is referring to himself as a she, as a Sakhi, that you can find the pronouns he's using for himself or herself, feminine pronouns in Sanskrit. Very, very good, very beautiful book, very beautiful. Very deep, it's a very deep book. And I was wondering, when we'll be able to fathom the depth of Gaudiya mood, Gaudiya bhav. Gopis are Krishna's devotees, that's the Sakhis, and the Manjaris also. Kinkari. Manjaris are also called Kinkari. Kinkari means maid servants. Sakhis are also Kinkari. The 8 Sakhis. So why all the gopis, that is including Sakhis and Manjaris, why do they love Krishna? Do they love him independently? No. They love Krishna because she is a lover of Radharani. Because Radha loves him. So sometimes they act on the side of Krishna, sometimes they act on the side of Radharani. But the Gaudiya mood is, since she is beloved of Radharani. The gopis are devotees of Krishna, not independently. So that's the secret revealed by our Gaudiya Acharyas. And Prabhupada Saraswati also talks about that in his Advaita. The way he is referring to the pastimes, it appears that he's basing his verses on the text of Geet Govinda of Jairus. Because the only available commentary on Geet Govind is by Prabhupada Saraswati. So, as I understand it myself, in the verses that he has written in the glorification of Radharani, in his Radha Rasa Sunanidhi, he's referring to the pastimes Mridula Govind Prabhu, please make me co-host or host.
Okay. Acha, I don't know that I was host.
Go to the right side and you will find
Yes.
three vertical dots or sorry, horizontal dots.
Yes.
You click on it.
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Prabhupada Saraswati is mostly referring to, as it appears to me, the pastimes described in Geet Govinda. But of course, he himself is Tunga Vidya Sakhi in the spiritual world. So no doubt he must have referred to many other pastimes which are even not revealed anywhere else. Because he has his own spurti, his own revelations, right? This is my understanding. I would like to take a few moments to talk about Gaudiya Vaishnava literature.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
See, Gita and Bhagavad are definitely there. They are the Vedic text, no doubt about it. And they are the common literatures, common books for all the sampradayas. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that when there is pralay, please try to protect or preserve the three books, Gita, Bhagavad, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And if the pralay or the devastation becomes more intense, you can let go Bhagavad Gita. But don't lose Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. But pralay is so intense that you cannot hold two books with you. Then Saraswati Thakur says, let Bhagavatam go. But never let Chaitanya Charitamrita go. Because after the pralay is over, when there is new creation, if you have Chaitanya Charitamrita with you, you will be able to revive all the lost scriptures again from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because Chaitanya Charitamrita is the essence, the very subtle and just perfect essence of all the Vedic scriptures. And our Gaudiya Acharyas have written unlimited books, unlimited. It's a misfortune that in ISKCON, not Many people read Prabhupada's books regularly. It's a misfortune. Prabhupada wanted his books to be read thoroughly again and again, studied well, not only reading, but it should be studied well. So if devotees are not even reading Prabhupada's books, then where is the question of reading the books of Gaudiya Acharyas, other earlier Acharyas? Where is the question? So we have Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, we have Sandarbhas, then we have so many books written by our Gaudiya, other Gaudiya Acharyas who are specifically devoted to Madhurya Ras, Parakya Bhav, Lalit Madhav, Vidikta Madhav, then Ujjwal Neelamani. Of course, Bhakti Rasam Sindhu is the prerequisite for that. Bhakti Rasam Sindhu, then Ujjwal Neelamani. Then we have Gopal Champu, Anand Vrindavan Champu by Kavi Karnapur, Gaur Ganodesh Tipika, Krishna Ganodesh Tipika. Then we have books by Vishwanath Chakrita. I'm talking about these books apart from the commentaries they have written. Commentaries on Bhagavatam and Gita and other works. These are their original works, right? Like Vishwanath Chakrita Thakur also wrote Raghavatma Chandrika. Then Madhura Kadamini, Bhakti Rasamada Sindhu Bindu, right? Vishwanath Chakrita Thakur. Then we have Prema Bhakti Chandrika by Raghunath Das Goswami. I think, yeah. Prema Bhakti Chandrika. Then Prarthana of Narottam Das Thakur. Updeshamrut of Rup Goswami. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that if you want to easily understand and easily attain perfection in the Gaudiya mood, then read these three books. Prema Bhakti Chandrika, Prarthana, and Updeshamrit. By following the principles of these three books, one can easily grasp the Gaudiya Bhava, the Gaudiya mood, and very easily attain, easily, easily attain. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is saying easily attain. That means by who are very eager to attain that perfection and who are eager to let go all material attachments. They can definitely, by reading these three books, can easily attain perfection. So there are conditions apply, just like for any product, we have a little asterisk there. So here also conditions apply. Then we have Govinda Lilamrit by Krishnad Kaviraj Goswami. Right. Beautiful book, beautiful. Astakaliya Leela. Kaviraj Goswami wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita in Bengali, and he wrote Govind Lilamrit in Sanskrit. We already got introduction to his depth in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And in future, if you become fortunate enough to be able to read Govind Lilamrit, you will understand how deep he was, how deeply immersed he was in the love of Radha and Krishna. So there he describes the Astakalya Leela of Radha and Krishna. Amorous pastimes. Very esoteric stuff, very esoteric pastimes. Not to be read or not to be disclosed in public. And not to be read by those people who have not grasped even the basic philosophy. So Govinda Lilamrit and Git Govind of Jaidev Goswami are two very esoteric scriptures, esoteric works of two highly elevated acharyas. Then we have what's his name? What's the name of the book? Krishna Karnamrit. Krishna Karnamrit by Lila Shuka or Bilomangal Thakur. Lila Shuk was his pen name. His official legal name was Bilomangal Thakur. So Krishna Karnamrit, beautiful, very beautiful, very esoteric work. And apart from that, there are so many others. Not possible for me to name all of them. I don't even remember, or I don't know many. How many others are there? I know only a few little a few ones, only a few books. Then in Radhakund and Vrindavan, I think that there is a Grantha Samadhi where very esoteric scriptures have been entombed. You know the meaning of samadhi. In Hindi, in English, it's called tomb. So they have put in a tomb. So it's called Grantha Samadhi in order to protect them from the undeserving candidates. Right. So many highly confidential books have been preserved there, not accessible to anyone. When the time comes, a few deserving devotees will have access to them and benefit by reading. And whatever Krishna wants them to reveal from those books to the public people in general, it will be revealed. It will be done in the future. But at present, they are in the Grantha Samadhi. So we should be greedy of Gaudiya Vaishnava literature. That's a real greed. And if, despite being a Gaudiya devotee, we don't have greed for Gaudiya literature, then that is our misfortune and nothing else. Somehow or other, we have to develop a taste or attachment for Gaudiya literature. So, Vrindavan has a magical effect on its residents, whoever comes here, Vrajavasi, or whoever lives here. Mathuravas, when we say Mathuravas, Mathuravas is one of the five most important limbs of Bhakti, right? So, Mathura also includes Vraja, because Mathura Mandal includes Vraja Mandal also. So, whoever resides here automatically will chant the names of Radha and Krishna. That we have actually seen and experienced. How Krishna is controlled by the love of Radha, that has been revealed only by the Gaudiya Acharyas. And of course, Jaidev Goswami. So, as Gaudiya devotees, we should know that actually how we should approach Krishna through Radharani. But Radharani is approached through Guru Tattva. So there is a link. But we should know our Prayojan, Sambandha Abhidaya Prayojan. And what is Gaudiya mood? What is Gaudiya Bhav? That at least theoretically we should know. It is recommended in the Shastras that after retiring from active life and accepting Vanaprastha order, one should travel everywhere to places of pilgrimage in order to purify himself. Vidura completely discharged this duty, and at last he reached Kushavarta or Hardwar, where the sage Maitra was sitting. Another significant point is that one must go to sacred places to only to take bath. I'm sorry, not only to take bath there, but to search out great sages like Maitra and take instructions from them. So bath one should take definitely, but not that just taking bath and coming back without sadhu sangha. No, one should do sadhu sangha also. If one does not do so, his traveling to places of pilgrimage is simply a waste of time. Narottam Das Thakur, a great acharya of the Vaishnava sect, has for the present forbidden, forbidden us to go to such places of pilgrimage because in this age, the times having so changed, a sincere person may have a different impression on seeing the behavior of the present residents of the pilgrimage sites. He has recommended that instead of taking the trouble to travel to such places, one should concentrate his mind on Govinda, and that will help him. Of course, concentrate one's mind on Govinda in any place is a path meant, meant for those who are the most spiritually advanced. It is not for ordinary persons. Ordinary persons may still derive benefit from traveling to holy places like Prayag, Mathura, Vrindavan, and Haridwar.
ये पॉइंट
It is recommended in these words that one find a person.
ये पॉइंट ही
Sorry?
समझाना. दिस पॉइंट वी हैव टू एक्सप्लेन अगेन. ये क्या बोल रहे हैं? व्हाट डज इट मीन? जाना चाहिए नहीं जाना चाहिए?
Prabhupada last sentence लिखे ना, ordinary persons may still derive benefit from traveling to holy places like Prayag, Mathura, Vrindavan and Haridwar.
यस.
तो आइडियली तो जरूरत नहीं जाने की, आप अपने जहां बैठे हैं वहां भगवान श्री गोविंद का ध्यान करो, राइट? लेकिन केवल भगवान के ऊपर, गोविंद के ऊपर ही ध्यान करना, वो तो जो स्पिरिचुअली एडवांस होते हैं उनके लिए ही बना है. वही कर सकते हैं. इसलिए जो साधारण लोग हैं वो कंपलसरी नहीं है, लेकिन साधारण लोग जो हैं वो तीर्थ स्थान में जाएंगे तो फायदा होगा. प्रयाग है, मथुरा, वृंदावन है, हरिद्वार, यू विल बेनिफिट. But if somebody says that no, I would just like to be at one place and chant more, that's fine.
I see.
नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर ने तो वही रेकमेंड किया है. लेकिन चूंकि प्रभुपाद कह रहे हैं कि आजकल के युग में लोग ऐसे एकाकी भजन नहीं कर सकते और तीव्र भक्ति नहीं कर सकते अपने स्थान पर, इसलिए ऐसे लोगों के लिए ऑर्डिनरी पर्सन्स की बात हो रही है. ऑर्डिनरी पर्सन्स, ये कि डिवोटीज आर नॉट ऑर्डिनरी पीपल. यहां जरा और सटलिटी है, सटलिटी को समझिए. ऑर्डिनरी पर्सन्स मतलब कौन? जो साधारण लोग होते हैं बाहर के, दे मे स्टिल डिराइव बेनिफिट फ्रॉम ट्रैवलिंग टू होली प्लेसेस. डिवोटीज जा सकते हैं, कौन मना कर रहा है, जाइए. बट मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट थिंग इज going at the holy place and associating with devotees there.
Okay.
केवल स्नान करने नहीं जाना है. तो वो समझना है पॉइंट. यहां विदुर का एग्जांपल दिया है. विदुर was traveling to holy places and he associated with a saintly person, Maitreya, and he heard Bhagavatam from him. So if you have such an opportunity, fine, definitely go. And if you go there, you will definitely take bath in the holy river also, right? But more important is hearing the glorification of Krishna, Radha and Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, but nowadays when generally even devotees, when we go, because we don't have that eyes, तो हमको देखने की वो शक्ति नहीं है, तो even in holy धाम also we may try to find some, मतलब ये डिवोटी, ये आदमी ऐसा है, ये ब्रजवासी ऐसा है, we will try to find some दोषा.
वही तो कह रहे हैं प्रभुपाद, यहाँ
अपराध होता है ना भाई इससे.
वही तो कह रहे हैं कि देखिए, ये Narottam Das Thakur, a great acharya of the Vaishnava sect.
Hmm.
Do you see this?
Yes, yes. Has forbidden us to go.
Narottam Das Thakur, a great acharya of the Vaishnava sect, has for the present forbidden us to go to such places of pilgrimage because in this age, the times having so changed, a sincere person may have a different impression on seeing the behavior of the
Yes,
present residents of the pilgrimage sites.
it's really correct. Yes. Hmm.
इसलिए वृंदावन भी जाते हैं तो भक्तों के संग में जाओ
Hmm.
और 3 दिन रह के वापस आ जाओ.
Yes. This what
कुछ
this
सेमिनार
understood
अटेंड कर
also.
रहे हैं, कुछ फेस्टिवल अटेंड कर रहे हैं, ठीक है,
Yes. हाँ,
करके सप्त देवालय विजिट करो
हाँ.
वृंदावन में आकर,
Hmm.
राइट, भक्तों का संग करो, चले जाओ.
Okay.
तो लंबा समय रहता है तो जो मटेरियली, जो जिनका मटेरियल परसेप्शन है, वो लोग फिर अपराध करेंगे.
हाँ, ये इशू है, ये इशू है. We will
यस,
try to do some dosha, some offense.
फॉल्ट फाइंडिंग वगैरह.
Correct.
It is recommended in this verse that one find a person who knows the science of God or tattvavit. A tattvavit. Tattvavit means one who knows the absolute truth. There are many pseudo-transcendentalists even at places of pilgrimage. Such men are always present, and one has to be intelligent enough to find the actual person to be consulted. Then one's attempt to progress by traveling to holy places, different holy places, will be successful. तो वृंदावन में भी आपको सहजे भी मिल जाएंगे, मायावादी भी मिल जाएंगे,
Yes.
और उनकी बहुत भागवत कथा चलती है, म्यूजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स के साथ, गाना गाना बजाने के साथ, बहुत भंडारा चलता है, ये वो,
Yes. This
बहुत
is.
पॉम्पस
Hmm.
अरेंजमेंट होता है. बट वन शुड फाइंड आउट द तत्वविद, राइट. Then one attempts to progress by traveling to different holy places will be successful. One has to be freed from all contamination, and at the same time, he has to find a person who knows the science of God, so the science of Krishna, Tattvadarshi or Tattvavid. Krishna helps a sincere person, as stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bija.
Hmm.
By the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna, one attains the path of salvation, devotional service. If one sincerely searches for spiritual salvation, then Krishna, being situated in everyone's heart, gives him intelligence to find a suitable spiritual master. By the grace of a spiritual master like Maitreya, one gets the proper instruction and advances in his spiritual life.
Hmm.
So, by the combined mercy of Guru and Krishna, one can advance in Krishna consciousness. तयो संवदतो सूत प्रवृत्ता यमला कथाः आपो गंगा इवाग्रंग्निर हरे पादाम्बुजाश्रयाः. Shaunaka inquired about the conversation between Vidur and Maitreya. There must have been many narrations of the spotless pastimes of the Lord. The hearing of such narrations is exactly like bathing in the water of the Ganges, for it can free one from all sinful reactions. Perfect. The water of the Ganges is purified because it pours forth from the lotus feet of the Lord. है ना, वो वामन देव के रूप में भगवान ने फिर अपना रूप एक्सपांड कर लिया था और ब्रह्मांड के आवरण को भेदन कर दिया था. उससे विरजा नदी का जल ब्रह्मांड में आ गया था भगवान के चरण को स्पर्श करके. वही गंगा है.
Hmm.
तो वही गंगा फिर स्वर्गलोक में आकाश गंगा के नाम से बहती है, पृथ्वी पर भागीरथी के रूप में बहती है, और बिलस वर्ग में भोगवती के नाम से बहती है. तो ब्रह्मांड, पूरे ब्रह्मांड में, तीनों लोकों में गंगा बहती है. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita is as good as the water of the Ganges because it is spoken from the mouth of the Supreme Lord. भगवद गीता के बारे में भी काफी कुछ जानने लायक है. जैसे मैंने आपको पहले बताया था, वेदों में 1130 शाखाएं थी। 1130 ब्रांचेस वर देयर इन द वेदस अर्लियर, ओरिजिनली, as quoted by युग स्वामी इन द तत्व संदर्भ फ्रॉम कुर्म पुराण। उसमें से 1000 शाखा तो केवल सामवेद में थी, 130 बाकी की दूसरे वेदों में डिवाइडेड थी। वेदों के क्राइटेरिया के हिसाब से वेद की कोई भी शाखा तभी कंप्लीट होती है जब उसमें कम से कम एक उपनिषद होता है, तब जाकर वो शाखा कंप्लीट होती है। उस कैलकुलेशन से वेदों में मूलतः ज्ञान कांड में कम से कम 1130 उपनिषद थे। और वैसे भी एक शाखा में केवल एक उपनिषद नहीं होता है, क्योंकि आजकल भी जो आजकल 67 ब्रांचेस मिलती है वेदों की, चार वेद मिला के। जो मैंने आपको 1130 शाखाएं जो बताई वेदों की, वो चारों वेद को मिला के थी। उसमें से आज 67 बची है चारों वेद मिला के। 67 ब्रांचेस में से 212 उपनिषद मिलते हैं। आप गिन लो, एवरेज 212 डिवाइडेड बाई 67, तो एक ब्रांच में एवरेज इतना उपनिषद मिल रहा है। आप अंदाजा लगा लो, क्रॉस मल्टीप्लीकेशन कर लो आप, सिंपल मैथमेटिक्स है। तो यदि 67 ब्रांचेस में 212 उपनिषद मिल रहे हैं, 212 तो एक पब्लिशर ने पब्लिश किए हैं प्रॉपर आज आज की डेट में,
हम्म,
तो 67 ब्रांचेस में 212 उपनिषद यदि है, तो आपको रफ अंदाजा आ जाएगा। लेट्स कैलकुलेट।
yeah, around 4,000.
है
Around 4,000.
अराउंड 4000
Yes.
इतने उपनिषद थे पहले। अभी जरा सोचिए, भगवत गीता जो है वो सभी उपनिषदों का सार है। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपाल नंदन पाथो स सुधीर भुक्ता दुग्धम गीतामृतम महत। राइट। उपनिषद रूपी गाय का दोहन करके कृष्ण ने दूध के रूप में गीता निकाली और अर्जुन रूपी बछड़े को पिला दी।
Yeah.
राइट। तो हजारों उपनिषदों का सार, यू कैन इमेजिन ये उपनिषद कैसे है, सागर जैसे है, इट्स लाइक ह्यूज ओशन। राइट। हजारों उपनिषदों का सार भगवान ने केवल गीता में दे दिया। जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड द ग्रेटनेस एंड द डेप्थ ऑफ भगवद गीता। इतने हजारों उपनिषदों का सार 700 श्लोकों में दे दिया, और कोई भी टॉपिक छोड़ा नहीं। उपनिषद का कोई भी टॉपिक छोड़ा नहीं भगवान ने, क्योंकि यहां लिखा है ना, सर्वोपनिषदों गावो, सर्वोपनिषदों गावो। शंकराचार्य का लिखा हुआ श्लोक है ये जो गीता महात्मा का जो श्लोक है वो शंकराचार्य का लिखा हुआ है। तो शंकराचार्य को नहीं पता था कि पहले 1130 शाखाएं थी, उनको नहीं पता था क्या? उनको तो अच्छी तरह से पता था, शंकराचार्य को अच्छी तरह से पता था। और शंकराचार्य के समय में तो वेदों की और भी शाखाएं उपलब्ध थी, क्योंकि उनको तो कितने हजारों साल हो गए। तो उन्होंने ये श्लोक लिखा है, सर्वोपनिषद गावो दुग्धा गोपाल नंदन। तो इतने हजार उपनिषदों के सार के रूप में भगवत गीता है। कोई भी टॉपिक छोड़ा नहीं भगवान ने गीता में, उपनिषदों का कोई टॉपिक नहीं छोड़ा। और नॉट ओनली दैट, उपनिषदों में जो चीज स्पष्ट नहीं हो रही है उसको भी भगवत गीता में, और इनफैक्ट उपनिषदों में जिन टॉपिक्स को केवल टच किया है, हार्डली उसको डिस्क्राइब किया है, उन टॉपिक्स को भी गीता में भगवान ने क्लियरली बता दिया। तो गीता में भगवान ने कितने लेवल का लेयरिंग किया होगा, जरा सोचिए।
हम्म,
आपके केक में लेयर्स होते हैं ना, लेयर,
हम्म,
है ना। आप कई बार वो इतनी बड़ी केक आती है, कितने कितना लेवल का लेयरिंग होता है उसमें। तो 3-4 हजार उपनिषद का के सभी टॉपिक्स को कवर करना है, कुछ बाकी नहीं छोड़ना है, और उसको केवल 700 श्लोक में वर्णन करना है, समराइज करना है। यू कैन इमेजिन गीता में भगवान ने कितने लेवल का लेयरिंग किया होगा। लेयर्स विद इन लेयर्स विद इन लेयर्स विद इन लेयर्स, ये गहराई है भगवत गीता की। ठीक है, इसलिए गीता को आप जितनी भी बार पढ़ो, उसमें आपको नई 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 चीजें मिलती जाती, क्योंकि उपनिषदों का सार है ये, और भगवान की वाणी है ये। So it is with any topic on the pastimes of the Lord or the characteristics of his transcendental activities. The Lord is absolute. There is no difference between his words, his perspiration, or his pastimes. Svagata Bheda Vivarjitaha, right?
हम्म,
The water of the Ganges, the narrations of his pastimes, and the words spoken by him are all on the absolute platform. And thus taking shelter of any of them is equally good. कोई गंगा नदी की शरण ले, बार बार गंगा में स्नान करे, फिर भगवान की कोई लीला को बार बार सुने,
परस्पिरेशन का
उनकी
क्या
गीता को बार बार सुने।
परस्पिरेशन क्या सेंसिबिलिटी है यहाँ पर? परस्पिरेशंस इस
यू
पर।
कैन टेक इट विथ कैंजिस, क्योंकि बेसिकली विरजा नदी जो है वो कारण सागर का पार्ट है,
यस।
और कारण सागर भगवान का परस्पिरेशन है,
ओके, ओके।
और उसी में से गंगा निकली है।
ओके।
ठीक है, तो ये सभी एब्सोल्यूट प्लेटफॉर्म पर है, एंड thus taking shelter of any one of them is equally good. Srila Rupa Goswami has enunciated that anything in relationship with Krishna is on the transcendental platform. If we can dovetail all our activities in relationship with Krishna, then we do not stand on the material platform, but always on the spiritual platform. तानाकितय भद्रं ते कीर्तन्योदार कर्मणः रसज्ञ कोनो तृप्येत हरि लीलामृतम पिबन। O Sutu Goswami, all good fortune to you. Please narrate the activities of the Lord, which are all magnanimous and worth glorifying. What sort of devotee can be satiated by hearing the nectarian pastimes of the Lord? जैसे मैं अभी ये पढ़ रहा हूँ राधा रस सुधा निधि, उसमें एक के बाद एक के बाद एक के बाद एक के बाद एक राधा कृष्ण की लीला फ्लो होती रहती है। अमृत धारा, अजस्र अमृत धारा फ्लो होती रहती है। तो भगवान ने असंख्य लीलाएं की हैं। तो जब भक्त इसको पढ़ते हैं, सुनते हैं, तो ऐसा नहीं होता है अरे बहुत हो गया, ऊब गया मैं, तो चलो अभी कुछ और टॉपिक, ऐसा कभी नहीं लगता है। भगवान के भक्त असंख्य हैं, उन सब में मुख्य नायिका है श्रीमती राधा रानी, नायक है श्री कृष्ण, और नायक और नायिका, ये हीरो हीरोइन जो है, वो असंख्य लीलाएं करते हैं, और अमृत की धारा अजस्र भार चलती रहती है, नॉन स्टॉप, अनइंटरप्टेड अनइंटरप्टेड चलती रहती है। तो कौन भक्त कहेगा अरे बहुत हो गया, चलो बस बंद करो? अमृत है। The narration of the pastimes of the Lord, which are always enacted on the translated platform should be received with all respect by devotees. शुरुआत में हमें कड़वा लगता है भागवतम क्लास सुनना, क्योंकि हमें जॉन्डिस हुआ है, इसलिए गन्ना अच्छा नहीं लगता, मीठा नहीं लगता, कड़वा लगता है। लेकिन जॉन्डिस जब होता है तो गन्ना ही उसका उपाय है, शुगर कैंडी ही उसका उपाय है, राइट। तो गन्ने का जूस वो पीता रहेगा, उसको जॉन्डिस ठीक हो जाएगा। उसी प्रकार से हमारे लिए इस भवरोग हमें जो हुआ है, इसकी वजह से हमें कृष्ण कथा सुनना कड़वा लगता है, लेकिन उसको सुनते रहेंगे तो आनंद का अनुभव होगा। Those who are actually on the translatable platform are never satiated by hearing the continuous narration of the pastimes of the Lord. जो आध्यात्मिक स्तर पे होते हैं ना, वो नॉन स्टॉप सुन सकते हैं, जैसे परीक्षित महाराज। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ एनी सेल्फ रियलाइज सोल रीड्स फ्रॉम भगवद गीता, he will never feel satiated. Any self realized soul, एक लेवल होना चाहिए। The narrations of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam may be read thousands and thousands of times, and still without fail, new aspects of the subject matter will be realized by the devotee. On being asked to speak by the great sages of Naimisharanya, the son of Roma Harshana, Sud Goswami, whose mind was absorbed in the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, said, "Please hear what I shall now speak." तो शौनक आदि ऋषियों का प्रश्न सुन के सुद गोस्वामी ने उत्तर दिया। Sud Goswami continued, Vidura, the descendant of Bharata, was delighted to hear the story of the Lord. विदुर के बारे में बता रहे हैं, सुद गोस्वामी की भगवान की कथा सुन के बड़े प्रसन्न हुए। Story of the Lord, who, having assumed by his own divine potency the form of a boar, had enacted the sport of lifting the earth from the bottom of the ocean and indifferently killing the demon Hiranyaksha. Vidura then spoke to the sage as follows. फिर विदुर ने कुछ प्रश्न पूछे मैत्र से। Purport. It is stated here that the Lord assumed the form of a boar by his own potency. His form is not actually the form of a conditioned soul. A conditioned soul is forced to accept a particular type of body by the higher authority of material laws. But here it is clearly said that the Lord was not forced to accept the form of a boar by the external power. जीवात्मा को अलग अलग शरीर लेना पड़ता है अपने कर्म के अनुसार, लेकिन भगवान के जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम एवं यो व्यक्ति तत्वतः तत्त्यादि पुनर्जन्म नहीं मामिति सोच। कृष्ण के सभी जन्म और कर्म दिव्य हैं। तो वो जब वराह रूप में प्रकट हुए तो वो कर्म के वशीभूत थे, माया के वशीभूत होकर नहीं, वो अपने आत्म माया यानी कि योग माया से उस प्रकार से प्रकट हुए थे। इन भगवद गीता द सेम फैक्ट इज कंफर्म्ड। When the Lord descends to this earth, he assumes a form by his own internal potency. The form of the Lord, therefore, can never consist of material energy. The Mayavada version that Brahman assumes a form, when Brahman assumes a form, the form is accepted from Maya is not acceptable. The Mayavada version is that when Brahman assumes a form, the form is accepted from Maya is not acceptable. Mayavadi version हम लोग accept नहीं कर सकते. Because although Maya is superior to the conditioned soul, she is not superior to the supreme personality of Godhead. दैवीयशा गुणमयी मम माया दुर्त्यया मामेव प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतां तरन्ति ते। माया जो है वो पार करना कठिन है, लेकिन हमारे लिए कठिन है, बद्ध जीवात्माओं के लिए कठिन है, बद्ध जीवों के लिए। लेकिन जो व्यक्ति भगवान की पूरी शरणागति ले लेता है उसके लिए कठिन नहीं है। तो मायावादी वर्जन जो है सुनना बहुत डेंजरस होता है। मायावादियों ने भागवत के ऊपर भी लिखा है। लेकिन यदि भागवत के ऊपर जो उनकी जो कमेंट्री है वो यदि हम लोग सुनेंगे तो क्या हो जाएगा? मायावाद भाष्य सुनील है सर्वनाश, है ना? सर्वनाश हो जाता है हमारी बुद्धि का। इसलिए कई बार जो अद्वैतवादी लोग होते हैं, मायावादी लोग होते हैं, बहुत विद्वान होते हैं, लेकिन और कई बार वो भागवत पर व्याख्या भी करते हैं, और उनका प्रेजेंटेशन आपको बहुत अट्रैक्टिव लग सकता है, बट बी केयरफुल, इट कैन बी डेंजरस। इसलिए जो भक्ति का जो सिद्धांत है और भागवत जो है हमें श्रवण करना है केवल भक्तों के मुखारविंद से, मायावादियों से नहीं। क्योंकि वो भक्ति की यदि बात भी करते हुए लगेंगे आपको, तो भी उनके प्रयोजन तत्व में बहुत बड़ी गलती है। संबंध और प्रयोजन दोनों में कई बार वो लोग अभिधेय यानी कि प्रोसेस जो है वो अपनी प्रयोजन सिद्धि के लिए उपयोग करते हैं कि मैं कृष्ण की कथा का श्रवण करके सगुण ब्रह्म, उनके जो कार्यकलाप है जो वास्तव में माया ही है, उसको सुन के मैं, क्योंकि वो उन्होंने सत्वगुण में सब लीलाएं की हैं, इसलिए मेरा माया का आवरण खत्म हो जाएगा। अध्यास, सुपर इम्पोजिशन, अध्यास खत्म हो जाएगा, ऐसा वो लोग मानते हैं। तो इट कैन बी वेरी डेंजरस, वेरी सटल टू आइडेंटिफाई। वो भागवत कथा आपको सुनाएंगे, बहुत बढ़िया सुनाएंगे, भाव विभोर कर देंगे आपको, लेकिन उनका प्रयोजन क्या है? ये कथा सुन के हम खुद ही कृष्ण बन जाएंगे, हम समझ जाएंगे हम ही कृष्ण है, हम ही कृष्ण है, हम समझ जाएंगे, ऐसा मायावादी लोग कहते हैं।
मुझे मेरा इसमें एक
राइट।
प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस है। मैं भाई
हाँ।
जब मैं बहरीन गया था तो इस्कॉन में
हाँ।
आने के पहले आई यूज्ड टू गो एनीवेयर एवरीवेयर। तो मैं
हम्म।
चेन्नई मिशन में जाता था मॉर्निंग में। वो
चिन्मय मिशन।
चिन्मय मिशन वो मायावादी है। और
हम्म।
उन्होंने एक वहाँ पर सर्वनंद प्रभु आए थे, सर्वनंद गोस्वामी जो भी हैं। तो उन्होंने
हम्म।
जो गोपिका गीत उसके ऊपर लेक्चर दिया था, एंड इट वाज वेरी
हम्म।
इफेक्टिव आल्सो। तो मैंने इनफैक्ट जब इस्कॉन में,
हम्म।
तो आई यूज्ड टू गो बोथ प्लेसेस बिफोर आई सेलेक्टेड इस्कॉन एज। तो मैंने वहाँ पर कहा भी, जो वहाँ पर आचार्य थे उनको कहा कि भाई जो उनका जो लेक्चर मुझे प्रभावित करता है, यहाँ पर मुझे उतना
हम्म।
प्रभावित नहीं हो पाता है यहाँ पर। तो उन्होंने कहा कि
हम्म।
यहाँ पर वो प्रभावित करते हैं लेकिन यहाँ आपको प्रभावित करते हैं। दिस इज द डिफरेंस।
हम्म।
तो आफ्टर सम टाइम ऑफ कोर्स आई डिस्टेंस माई सेल्फ, क्योंकि उन्होंने बाद में
हम्म।
कहा कि भाई हम कोई भी चीज सहारा देते हैं, जो आप बता रहे थे, लाइक ही गेव एन एग्जांपल ऑफ
हम्म।
पोल वॉल्ट। So we can take the support of pole to climb high, but once we cross,
हम्म।
when we want to cross the string, we have to leave the pole. तो बाद में
हम्म।
बात छोड़नी पड़ेगी, ऐसा कहा था। और मैंने एक और उनका लेक्चर पढ़ा था, उसमें कहीं राम के नाम का कहीं जिक्र नहीं था। It
हम्म।
treated Vedanta, which was supposed to be written by them, and read completely from top to bottom, beginning to end. उसमें कहीं भी भगवान के नाम का कोई रेफरेंस नहीं है। So when I read
हम्म।
that, तो I just discarded. This is not for me. I practically gone through this.
राइट, यस। तो ऐसे अब कई एग्जांपल्स मिलेंगे।
Mhm.
Okay, so because although Maya is superior to the conditioned soul, she is not superior to the supreme personality of Godhead. She is under control of the supreme Godhead. मया दक्षिण प्रकृति श्रुते सचराचरम हेतु नाना कौनते जगत विपरिवर्ते, राइट, भगवत गीता में भगवान कहते हैं।
Yes.
Maya is under his superintendence. Maya cannot overcome the Lord. The Maya was the idea that a living entity is the supreme absolute truth, but has become covered by Maya is invalid. Because Maya cannot be so great that it can cover the supreme. Simple logic है इसमें। माया इतनी थोड़ी महान है कि भगवान को कवर कर ले। और उसका फिर इंडिविजुअल इंडिविजुअल यूनिट जीवात्मा बन जाए, ये पूरी लॉजिक जो थ्योरी है पूरी लॉजिकल है, इसमें कोई तर्क ही नहीं है। The covering capacity can be employed on the part and parcel of Brahman and not on the supreme Brahman. तो जीवात्मा जो है वो ब्रह्मन का पार्ट है, इसलिए उसके ऊपर कवरिंग हो सकता है, लेकिन पर ब्रह्म के ऊपर नहीं हो सकता। Vidura said, since you know of matters inconceivable to us, tell me, O holy sage, what did Brahma do to create living beings after evolving the Prajapatis, the progenitors of living beings? Purport. Significant here is the word avyakta margavit, one who knows that which is beyond our perception. तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, अव्यक्त मार्गवित। तो ऐसे व्यक्ति से सुनना है जो हमारे परसेप्शन के बाहर जो चीजें उनको भी जानते हैं, राइट। टू नो मैटर्स बियॉन्ड वंस परसेप्शन, वन इज टू लर्न फ्रॉम अ सुपीरियर अथॉरिटी इन द लाइन ऑफ डिसिप्लिक सक्सेशन. Just to know who is our father is beyond our perception. For that, the mother is the authority. Similarly, we have to understand everything beyond our perception from the authority who actually knows. The first Avyakta Margavit or authority is Brahma, and the next authority in disciplic succession is Narada. Maitreya Rishi belongs to that disciplic succession, so he is also Avyakta Margavit. Anyone in the bona fide line of disciplic succession is Avyakta Margavit, or personality who knows that which is beyond ordinary perception. Vidura inquired, how did the Prajapatis, such progenitors of living entities as Marichi and Swambhu Manu, create according to the instruction of Brahma? And how did they evolve this manifested universe? Did they evolve the creation? अभी यहाँ ब्रह्मा जी के इंस्ट्रक्शन से मनु इत्यादि प्रजापति ने कैसे विसर्ग किया आगे प्रजोत्पत्ति की, उसके बारे में विदुर प्रश्न पूछ रहे हैं. Did they evolve the creation in conjunction with their respective wives? Did they remain independent in their action? Or did they all jointly produce it? किस प्रकार से क्रिएशन किया उसकी डिटेल जानना चाहते थे, अपनी अपनी पत्नी के सहायता से, फिर उन्होंने इंडिपेंडेंटली क्रिएट किया या एक दूसरे की सहायता से क्रिएशन किया, कैसे किया, प्रश्न पूछा. तो लेट्स रिव्यू इन द सुबोधिनी. सो 1 to 6 में शौनक ऋषि ने प्रश्न पूछे. तो यहाँ 2 to 4 में विदुर के कुछ 7 गुण बताए गए हैं. अ ग्रेट डिवोटी, विदुर जो है वो ग्रेट डिवोटी है, फ्रेंड ऑफ लॉर्ड कृष्णा. थर्ड है गिव अप द कंपनी ऑफ हिज एल्डर ब्रदर एज ही वाज ऑफेंडेड टू कृष्णा ऑन धृतराष्ट्र ने कृष्ण का अपराध किया था. फोर्थ, ही वाज सन ऑफ वेद व्यास. फिफ्थ, he accepted the lotus feet of Krishna. Sixth, he was attached to Krishna's devotees. Seventh, he was purified by visiting Tirthas and met Maitra in Haridwar. Right? तो 9 से 11 में, 9 to 11 में, Vidura is inquiring about Brahma's creation. तो 12 से 15 में मैत्रेय सर्ग को समराइज करेंगे, समरी देंगे उसका, कारण एंड कार्य सृष्टि. तो हम लोग वो नेक्स्ट क्लास में डिस्कस करेंगे आगे. हरे कृष्णा. है कोई प्रश्न आपको?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद, प्रणाम.
हाँ प्रभु.
प्रभु जी बताए, माया इज सुपीरियर टू कंडीशन सोल.
हाँ.
जो सोल है प्रभु जी, ये तो पार्ट ऑफ सुपर सोल है. तो माया जो है प्रभु जी जो है वो सुपीरियर कैसे हुई प्रभु जी?
माया जो है वो सुपीरियर वो इसलिए है क्योंकि वो देवी, भगवान क्या बोलते हैं, देवी ऐसा गुणमयी मम माया जो होते हैं, भले ही वो अपरा प्रकृति है लेकिन वो सुपीरियर उन जीवात्माओं से सुपीरियर हैं जो भगवान से द्वेष करते हैं उनसे सुपीरियर है भगवान। ये यहां इसका कहने का मतलब ये होता है, जो लोग कृष्ण के पूरे सन्मुख हैं, भगवान के विमुख नहीं है, तो उनके सामने माया हाथ जोड़ के खड़ी रहती है। राइट।
थैंक थैंक
तो
थैंक
चूंकि वो पूरी भगवान की शरणागति ले चुके हैं, इसलिए उनके ऊपर महामाया काम नहीं करती, इसलिए महामाया उनके उनसे सुपीरियर नहीं हो सकती, क्योंकि वो भगवान की पूरी शरणागति ले चुके हैं। जो महामाया किनसे सुपीरियर है? जो भगवान से विमुख है उनसे सुपीरियर है। इसलिए परा प्रकृति का ये मतलब, क्योंकि परा प्रकृति का जब, जैसे देखिए जीवात्मा, इस थोड़ा अलग एंगल से भी समझिए, जीवात्मा जो है वो परा प्रकृति का पार्ट है। परा यानी सुपीरियर, अपरा इज इंफीरियर। तो परा प्रकृति यानी कि वो अपरा से ऊपर है।
यस प्रभु जी।
कब? जब परा जो है वो सही में अपने स्वरूप में स्थित है,
कॉन्टेक्ट में।
यानी कि
यस
जीवात्मा अपने
थैंक
स्वरूप में
यू।
स्थित है। वो स्वरूप ही तो सुपीरियर है अपरा से।
यस यस।
यदि वो अपने स्वरूप में स्थित नहीं होता तो अपरा क्या कैटेगरी उसमें आ गए, कस्टडी में आ गए, उसके जुरिस्डिक्शन में आ गए। राइट।
थैंक यू प्रभु जी, बहुत
Where
अच्छा
we are
किया।
situated is important.
यस। ओके, विल कंटिन्यू डे आफ्टर टुमारो। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
हरे
श्रीमद्
कृष्ण।
भागवतम की जय, महामनि व्यास की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय जय दामोदर की जय।
जय
मृदुल गोविंद प्रभु